Why is it so hard to find time for myself? I work all week and my calendar gets filled up with an onslaught of obligations. When I finally get some free time, there's always bills to pay, dishes to wash, and laundry to fold. And as much as I wish I could spend more time with friends and family, social events also eat into the small amount of free time that's available each week, which leaves me feeling like I rarely have enough time for myself. I've been reading The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and I was reminded of how important it was to write the morning pages. The morning pages are a daily writing practice where you write stream of consciousness for at least 3 pages. I have a whole other video on the morning pages, so be sure to check that out if you want to learn more about that writing practice. But on top of writing the morning pages, Julia Cameron recommends that you take yourself on an artist date each week throughout the course, which consists of a total of 12 weeks. My husband and I agreed to switch off taking care of our daughter on weekends so that each of us can have some free time to do whatever we like. Normally, I would work in my studio, but now I feel challenged to get out of the house and take myself on an adventurous artist date and do something new every single week. So I just pulled up to Oakland Cemetery, and it seems like there's a lot of people here. I think there's an event going on today, so I don't know. I'm gonna check it out, but if it's really crowded, I might go somewhere else. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to really like paint out here. We'll see. Let's go check it out.
You're the air that I breathe. Yes, and you are all that I need. You are the sun, a gift of life. You are the moon, my comfort at night. You are the water that keeps me.
Hello, so I'm here in this gorgeous cemetery today doing my artist date per the book, The Artist's Way. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. I felt like it was fitting to come to a cemetery in October. And so here I am. It's getting a little bit chillier in the mornings, but it's warming up in the afternoons. So it shouldn't be too bad. It's already a lot milder than it was early this morning. But yeah, I'm excited to just be outside. The weather is gorgeous, and kind of taking a moment to just check in on my progress with this book. So I honestly feel like the artist date has been more impactful so far than the morning pages. And the morning pages are fantastic, don't get me wrong. I think it's just that I've always had such a consistent journaling practice that the one thing I really wasn't doing was taking myself on an artist date like today. So Julia Cameron recommends in the book to take yourself on an artist date for 12 consecutive weeks. It's something you're supposed to do once a week, and I find that, why stop at 12 weeks? Like, obviously every week it might not be possible if you have other things going on the weekend, like if you're going to a wedding or traveling out of town with family or things like that. However, I think in our normal weekly routines, if we have nothing going on at least one of the weekend days, we can at least take a half day and take ourselves on an artist date. And honestly, it's just been the most impactful for me. I'm surprised at how impactful it's been, because I think a lot of times I just want to hunker down in my studio and get work done, but that's not always the best source of inspiration. It doesn't necessarily fill your tank the way Julia Cameron talks about. Okay, so let's see what Julia Cameron actually says about the artist date. Doing your artist date, you are opening yourself to insight, inspiration, and guidance. An artist date is a block of time, perhaps 2 hours weekly. I think a half day is better, so whatever that means for you, more of a 4-hour period. In its most primary form, the artist date is an excursion, a play date that you pre-plan and defend against all other interlopers. You do not take anyone on this artist date. It's just for you. But you take your inner artist, aka your creative child. So Julia Cameron talks a lot about our inner artist being our inner child, or like our childhood self. And I really love this analogy because she talks about it having temper tantrums. She talks about the sense of play. Can you hear that? There's like a plane. She talks about your inner artist needing to be pampered like a child, comforted, nurtured like a child. Your inner artist needs to be taken out, pampered, and listened to. Remember, it is the time commitment that is sacred. Spending time in solitude with your inner artist child is essential to self-nurturing. I just love this, and I found that this has been so true for me, to just get away from everything, all the chores, the dishes, the laundry that are constantly piling up, and just having a block of time to myself has been so rewarding and so nourishing. Yeah. And sometimes when I block off time to just work in my studio, I end up editing videos or trying to do more on social media, or I don't know, I end up doing things besides actually drawing and painting, which is what I want to do. And so when I take myself on these very intentional artist dates, I end up really doing a lot more drawing and painting, and it's just because I planned it and there's no distractions. So when I take myself to a place like this, there are really no distractions, which is fantastic. Creativity cannot happen on an empty tank. Such an essential part of making art and being creative is being able to draw water, so to speak, from a well that is full. True inspiration gives us that fired up feeling where we feel like we absolutely have to go create. I've spent plenty of time searching for images and getting inspired by sites like Pinterest or scrolling on Instagram, but ultimately this can lead us to the comparison game and can leave us feeling a little empty. What's truly amazing about the artist date is that it's a sacred time where we reconnect to our true selves. This leaves us feeling full. And when we feel full, when our tank is full, it's easy to glide into our creative frenzy. It's also so easy to get depleted again, which is why the artist date should ideally happen once a week for at least 12 weeks. From there, I recommend going on an artist date at least once a month. Artists must learn how to self-nourish. Julia Cameron recommends that in filling our well, to think magic, not duty. As artists, we might pressure ourselves to practice a particular skill that we think we should be good at. For example, I really need to get better at watercolor. If it feels like a chore, I put this in the duty category. Don't do this on your artist date. You may want to work on a few skills that you feel like you need to improve on another time. But your artist date should be fun. It's something you're excited to do, something you get to look forward to all week. Julia Cameron says, think mystery, not mastery. Your artist date doesn't need to be productive. It doesn't need to be something you can sell. It is all about wonder.